Good. How are you?
Hey, so Coach Fisher seems to me like a pretty philosophical guy. I wonder, just sort of like, as long as you've been with the team, sort of how he's sort of treated those ups and downs that you guys have had in your short tenure there, and what kind of his message has been.
He stays pretty calm throughout everything. Doesn't really get too high, doesn't get too low, kind of just goes at a steady pace and just tells us that we can learn from each and every mistake, each and every win, whatever it is, we can learn from everything.
It is, how hard is it to like actually like do that as a player in it and competing and all that?
It definitely is hard because you want to win every game, and sometimes when you're doing all the right things and you're still not getting those wins, it can be a little frustrating. But sometimes we just have to take a step back, watch the film, listen to the coaches, and try to learn whatever we can.
Cool, thank you.
Tukni Nguyen, LA Times.
Hi, Lauren. Good to see you. Great. Yeah. Okay. So you guys are in the last last stretch of this really long road trip. So just how are you feeling mentally and physically as you kind of go with these ups and downs of such a long trip?
I think we're all feeling good, all in high spirits, despite the kind of small losing streak we've been on. Like I said, you got to learn from each and every game. We watch films from the previous games and try to tweak a little bit on offense, a little bit on defense, whatever we can do. And we just have to take it one game at a time. We can't start off a road trip like this looking at a game that we have towards the end. So just focusing on each and every day and taking it one game at a time.
With a road trip this long, how do you kind of keep yourself refreshed on a day-to-day, game-to-game basis when not only you have to travel a bunch, but you just have so many games kind of back to back almost?
Recovery days are really important. We have a great training staff that helps us out and does whatever we need. So just making sure we focus on that. And that's one of those days that we have to focus on when I say take it day by day. So yesterday was kind of our travel rest day. So we focused on that. Today was our practice day, focused on that. Tomorrow we have shoot around in the game. And so we'll focus on that.
Rashawn Haylock, Spectrum and KTLA.
Hey, Lauren, you kind of alluded to it right there. I mean, every game's pretty much been every other day, but now you kind of had 2 days in between, since your last one. As far as those rest and recovery days, how much mental prep or mental reps can be done during those days? Is there any film that's being done during those days? Or is it just a complete kind of shutdown of things?
Yeah, yesterday we traveled, which took a lot longer than we would have liked to. And then once we got to the hotel, we just chilled out, did whatever treatment, recovery stuff that we needed to do. And then this morning we started with the film and then the practice. So when we do have those recovery days, it's mainly focused on recovery.
Chris Camello, Nightcast Media.
Hey, Lauren, thanks for taking the time this morning. A two-part question. One, what's it like to be back in Indiana, where it all kind of started for you? And two, how important, and no disrespect to the Fever, but how important is this next game just to, you see now an opponent that you guys probably feel that you're better than, and just like, we've got to take care of business tomorrow night. Like, what's the mindset going into tomorrow's game?
I think being back in Indy, it's kind of nice. I mean, I spent the first half of the season here, so got to know the town a little bit. I have family nearby that will be at the game, so that'll be exciting. And as far as our mindset, this is a really important game for us as far as our playoff run. We are half a game out of playoffs right now, so we need to focus, like I said, on one game at a time and winning that game that's in front of us, no matter who the opponent is.
2 more this afternoon with Lauren. We'll go back to Miriam.
Hey, Lauren, you mentioned a travel day taking longer than you guys would have liked. I think people forget sort of the taxing nature of WNBA travel, but tell me about this one. How was it? How long was it? And like, what happened?
We left the hotel in Connecticut, I think at 9 a.m. We drove to Boston, which took a couple hours, had to wait at the airport, hour and a half-ish, and then took our flight to Indy. So it was definitely a long day, not the ideal recovery day, but once we did get settled in the hotel, we were able to just relax.
How taxing is that on you guys to like for every trip to kind of be that much of a grind?
It can be pretty exhausting, but that's why our rest and recovery is so important. And when we do that, get that time to kind of just relax, we need to take it and make the most of it.
Last question for Lauren. We'll go to Tukni.
Hey, Lauren, I know you value defense a lot personally, but I was wondering what your kind of thoughts are when you watch Brittany Sykes play defense. I mean, she's such a spark plug for you guys. So what kind of tone does she set for this team on that end of the court?
Yeah, she definitely brings a lot of energy. It's exciting to watch her play defense because she's kind of all over the place. She's got really long wingspan, so she disrupts shots, passes, whatever it is. And a lot of the times her defense leads into good offense for us.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
All good. Questions for Erica Wheeler? We'll start with Chris Camello, Nightcast Media.
Hey, Erica, how are you?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. So yeah, you're obviously back in Indy where a lot of great things early in your career happened. So just talk about that feeling of, being back into some familiar surroundings. And also a second part to my question is, how big is this game to beat the Fever? Not only because you're trying to keep your playoff hopes alive, but also too, this is a very much a beatable opponent.
First off, Indiana is home for me still. Definitely created a longevity career for me. So it's always good to be back. But my shirt says LA Sparks, so that's what I'm rocking with. And for your second question is this game, every game that we have moving forward is very important. But I just think we just need to stay within ourselves and do what we need to do. Not look too far ahead and look at what people are saying about playoffs, about the number of games we need. We have Indiana tomorrow, and that's all we need to be worried about.
Kahari Jones Jr., LA Sentinel.
Hey, what's going on, Erica?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I want to ask you just, how important is it for you all to kind of just stay focused on one game at a time and not really look towards the playoffs, even though that got to be in your mind at the same time, though. But what's the conversations like?
Definitely one game at a time. Whoever's in front of us next, that's what we worry about. I don't think nobody or even our coaches or none of the players is wrapped up of when we play Minnesota or Connecticut again. I don't think we talking about that. It's definitely the next game, and that's tomorrow. That's Indiana. That's what we're focusing on, and that's all we can do.
Rashawn Haylock, Spectrum.
Hey, Erica. Since the return from the break, the team being whole, with the exception of last game, what adjustments have you had to make personally, and how have you been able to kind of find your spots?
Adjustments is just, really just how defense are playing me. Some teams go under, some teams go over, some teams trap me. I don't think it's more so adjusting to my teammates because I've been with my teammates. Even though Nneka and Shanae and KT's been out, I still know their game. We still have conversations. So it's more so just being able to read how teams are guarding us.
Tukni Nguyen, LA Times.
Hey, Erica, I want to ask you about Brittany Sykes and her defense specifically. She's such a spark plug for you guys, but is there something you notice in practice or games that you think other people overlook about the way she plays defense?
I think her anticipation is pretty overlooked. Her IQ to be able to time, when to be in help or when to block someone's shot or when to, just have that 2-9 for us. So I think that's definitely an IQ that people don't know about, that she's there when you don't even think she's there.
Do you see her working on that? Do you see her kind of looking at extra film to develop that? Or do you think she was just kind of born with that?
I think she's a basketball player. Some basketball players are just born with certain special things, and I think that's one of them. Do she watch film to be better at it? I think so, for sure. Do we work on it in practice? Yeah, for sure. She definitely disrupt in practice. So I definitely do think that she has a special gift, though, when it comes to just being able to time and know and see things before it even happens.
Do you have a personal favorite Brittany Sykes defensive highlight of the year yet?
You're gonna get me in trouble with that one, so I'm gonna not answer that.
Okay, thank you.
You got it.
Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Hey, Erica. Now
How
I
you
want
doing?
to have good. How are you?
Good.
Now I want to know what it is, but you don't have to answer. Hey, so yeah, my question is kind of like, how are you? How are you guys holding up? This is obviously a long road trip. You guys are on the back stretch of it, but I think people forget, like in the WNBA, you guys, like it's kind of a grind. Like how on a long road trip like this do you guys kind of like attack that mentally, or how do you cope with that, and how taxing is it?
I mean, it's our job. We know what the road trip is like. We basketball players, we figure things out. That's our job. So having days in between does help to, kind of reset us to, have a fresh mind and mentally and physically. But at the end of the day, it's our job. So whatever's in front of us, that's what we're just gonna have to do.
All right, cool. And yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Thanks, Erica.
Thank you.